So, like, Bobby Hemmett said those demons or whatever, right? Before all these physical or humanistic uh, uh, these humanistic gods and whatnot, like Odin, God, Jesus, Buddha, all those representations of the spiritual realm came in and basically are not the true essence of what our souls really are. Our souls are really the demons because if you go before that, you have a lot of folklore, and the folklore is basically like old tales or more tribal tales. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about the soul. Because the soul doesn't want to be human. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit wants to. So you have your soul. Your soul is what your spirit goes into. It goes through the solar plex. That's why, you know what I'm saying, this Earth and this universe is really you know generated by the sun. So it's like, your spirit basically goes through your solar plex. You have a mini sun inside of you and emanates, and that's how you came into being, into consciousness. But that's how a being is honestly becomes a being, if you will, because you're no shape or no thing, as Dolo said, and then like Dolo the pilot said, and then so basically like you kind of basically that's how basically your being is created. That's why every being that you see is who they are, like Odin, and the Vikings mythology, and Norse mythology, and um, God and Jesus, and even the Orishas and Yoruba. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, it's all through their natures, but because they're human and whatnot, we can relate to them on the level of like about just who their personality is, you know what I mean? Or basically what their personality is and what they do and why they do it. So, you know what I'm saying? But I've been studying krampus because krampus is like within my, you know, uh, I don't know, I just kind of gravitated towards Krampus, and I feel like I'm Krampus, you know what I'm saying? Like, Krampus, if you don't know what Krampus is like basically the devil counterpart to Santa Claus, you know what I'm saying? Santa Claus basically being God, and, Krampus being the devil. The Krampus has, he's basically like Pan, you know what I'm saying? In Greece mythology, like, he basically has, but he has deer, deer hoofs, and it, from the waist down, he like has deer. One leg is deer wolf and deer hoofs, and the next leg, the other leg, is a wolf like leg or whatever. I don't know what to call it, but a wolf's leg. And so yeah, and he has like basically fur over his back. He has like piercing red eyes. He's gray, but he still has a humanoid figure on his upper body is humanoid, and he has like horns, you know what I'm saying? Horns sticking out. Kind of like Hellboy, but anyways. So if we go into this character, like it's like what Bobby Hemmett was basically saying is that your soul are those demons, because every spiritual being that was like before any physical human representation, like I said before, of your spirit basically um, was these demons, you know what I'm saying? These demons and whatnot. And basically um, when Christianity came on the scene, you know what I'm saying? Basically, I mean, but it doesn't matter any religion that has like a prophet or a god that has a physical human-like form or whatnot came onto the scene. All the they transition from basically, you can say pagan, or I don't say pagan exactly, but you want to say something like basically like those folklores where the creatures and whatnot, the supernatural creatures, um, was relegated to the devil. You know what I'm saying? Or the adversary, or the enemy, and that's what is to bring you into this humanity type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? Which is basically like taking. It's basically trying to govern your mentalities. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to, like the government, like govern your mentalities, and that's what's basically what it's trying to do. And so, um, with krampus, you know what I'm saying? You got basically like these, you know, like I said, like if you let's think about it, like you have higher and lower natures. Your lower natures are what keep you sustain this physical realm. Your higher natures are more emotional. You know what I'm saying? They're more spiritual and more intuitive. You know what I'm saying? So like, they're more of this. They're everlasting and more spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, because the physical things that you get yourself into in the physical realm are kind of like mundane, and they're here and there. You know what I'm saying? They're not really like everlasting in the sense of like longevity wise. So, I just thought too, like your lower natures move through cycles. You know what I'm saying? They basically die and get reborn, die, reborn, or reborn and die. You know what I'm saying? Basically, um, so basically looking at krampus, you know what I'm saying? Like krampus is the the daughter. I'm sorry, the son of Helena, and Helena is the right. And Helena, right, is the daughter of Loki, and Loki in Norse mythology, and Loki is represented pretty much as Pan. You know what I'm saying? So you have this trickster deity like Pan. You know what I'm saying? And or Ishu. You know what I'm saying? And Ishu can always talk to the demons and talk to the gods. So he doesn't really have a side to pick. So you have Helena, right, who's the daughter of Loki, and so Helena pretty much is like the queen of the dead, because her whole lower body is basically a dead body. It's like a zombified. It's a decaying, rotting body, and her upper body is, you know what I'm saying, physical, and she's very old. So basically she's wise, and her lower natures, which is her like root chakra, her sacral chakra, basically, and then I forgot the other chakra, but it's way down the black one, but before the one that's before the root chakra. Those chakras or whatnot are represented by being dead, and you think okay, dead, but you don't think evil. Dead is just really being going back to the spiritual realm. So she, her lower natures, she's grounded in spirituality. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps her thriving. That's what, you know what I'm saying, who her essence is, and what she takes seriously. You know what I'm saying? What she respects and what she honors. You know what I'm saying? Is the spiritual aspects of things. Then you have her solar plex, which is in a human form, so it's emanating and it's coming into a bodily form. So she's those natures are going to come into, but you have also her higher natures, you know what I'm saying, which is physical, and because she's, you know what I'm saying, as an old body, she's wise. So her wisdom, you know what I'm saying, her heart chakra, her throat chakra, you know what I'm saying, crown chakra, her third eye, all those are in the physical. So she uses that in a physical representation. So in the physical form, which is her solar plex, which her spirit's going to go through, she basically is going to show you physically. She's going to be involved in higher nature things, and I realize that's what we have to kind of do. Like we have to like come out here and do some light work. And it's funny because she's the goddess of basically Helheim. I can't, or Helheim, but it's basically hell. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's like, even though she's the goddess of hell, the goddess of the lost souls, god of the dead, if you will. It's ironic because we see that as like scary or bad or dangerous, but in reality, it's like, she actually cares about people that are spiritual, but because they're so spiritual that it's hard for them to maneuver in the physical realm. Because I think the things they're trying to do are like things that in the physical realm really don't, you know, in the physical realm they really don't emanate because they're so spiritual. It's like the spiritual realm is chaotic, constantly changing, and has no shape or form and no like real defined set. There's no time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you in the physical realm, time waits for no one. So it's like you can literally be left behind. You know what I'm saying? Like things cannot work out for you. Because you're on that level. You know what I'm saying? You're just in a spiritual realm type of mentality. Like you're almost kind of like catatonic. You know. And so and so her krampus being basically that, like you guys, like I said, the lower nature is a deer. A deer represents freedom, and a wolf, basically, you know what a wolf is. A wolf is like a lone wolf, self-reliant. Basically, respect me. You know what I'm saying? I respect myself to such a high degree that I think everybody should respect me. You know what I'm saying? Respect me. You know what I'm saying? And don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I will hurt you type mentality. That just comes up with basically the territory, respect, the lone wolf. You all some wolves out here, I'll do what I gotta do, type mentality. So with that and the freedom is freedom to do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Freedom to express yourself and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Basically like that type of mentality. And so basically he's like, let me just do what I want to do, and you do what you want to do. I don't care. So that being in his lower nature, that's what he takes. You know what I'm saying? That's what's the essence of his person's who they're being. Like you're not gonna like physically see it in a sense, but you're gonna see like that's how they act. And that's like their feelings. You know what I'm saying? And so like, basically being a Capricorn. You know what I'm saying? The goat. The goat basically has anybody that has hooves, any demon that has hooves, that's furry or has horns. Especially the horns are very important. The horn will show you that, you know what I'm saying? So basically, yeah, you got that in the lower natures, right? You got the bodily figure, and you got red piercing eyes, which is the god eyes, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Sharingan in Naruto. It's like you can see through a lot of bullshit, or the Byakugan, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have the piercing red eyes, basically. And then you have the horns, and the horns basically are the connections of the psychic abilities that you might have to the spiritual realm, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you have those things, you know what I'm saying? And that is pretty much what krampus is, you know what I'm saying? And that's what emanates through his soul. So his higher natures, you know what I'm saying, is always going to be geared towards, you know what I'm saying, basically humanoid-like things, but his third eye, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the third eye, right? I'm trying to remember. Sorry, like throat chakra, right? And then you have the third eye, right? And the crown chakra. Yeah. So yeah, you have third eye. So his third eye is like completely all the way open. Like everything he sees in the physical reality is always going to come at a higher nature. But since he has a physical form, you know what I'm saying, like a human form, basically, it's basically going to come in through when he looks at people. He's going to always look at people as spiritual beings, and that we're in an endless cycle of changing, being reborn, and things don't really matter. Things don't seem what they don't seem what they. How the saying goes? Things don't always seem as they seem. I don't know. I forgot how it sounds. But you know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah. And so with the horns, you have the psychic ability to hear what the gods are always constantly, or I say the gods are basically like you have intuition to maneuvering through the physical realm, like just basically you have the spidey sense. You know whether or not something's going on because you're getting like brain waves. That's like those horns represent basically Thor's hammer. beating down onto, our Shango's hammer beating down to on Earth with electricity. Electricity actually sends signals to the planet because it goes from the sky, into the Earth and whatnot. It sends certain signals into the planet. So that's what that's about. So that's what you're kind of getting. That's what you're getting. You're getting those signals. That's what those horns represent. You know what I'm saying? It represents you're closer to like the gods. You know what I'm saying? You're closer to, you know, you just have like a spidey sense. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what that's about. And so basically, like, and it's funny because you look at, and it's like I said, he's dark. He looks like a demon almost. But those demon things basically means the lost souls. And the lost souls, anybody that's in hell or has a hellish like spirit, like, even like me, you know what I'm saying, has basically a uncanny to basically not look the best, like kind of look tarted or whatever. It's because, like I said, life is going by, and these mortals, these humans are in this physical, you know what I'm saying, like they're just part of the simulation. I'm saying a lot of them just are just going along with everything, and they're kind of just like, you know what I'm saying. But if you're in a spiritual sense, you don't really, you take things slower or whatever. So or you just do things when you want to do them. So it's like you don't really like check out what everybody else is doing, and you get fall behind. So like me, you might not have a job because like you just didn't get a job when people were trying to get jobs or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's the reason why. That's why I check tour cards and whatnot, because like it helps me know when the energies are in my favor to when I need to do something or whatever like that. But in general, like, like I don't really like care what humans are doing like that. You know what I'm saying? So, even Peter Tosh, but even Bob Marley and Jacob Miller was talking about that in an interview, like how like we don't check for man law, we listen to God's law, and that's kind of like what you're talking about here. It's kind of like, we don't really like see what other people are doing to come see, like we don't try to keep up with the Joneses, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why it's like, those type of spirits usually, you know what I'm saying, are usually seen as mischievous because to the mortals, you know what I'm saying, they don't really understand them, and they kind of think they're crazy, and so because they're in fear, which is a mortal response to something like that, to the spiritual realm, will basically, you know what I'm saying, make them like shun you. But if we were more in a natural setting, to be honest, they would. I mean, it is what it is. We're in a more in a natural setting, like people like me, like Capricorn, be more in structure and shit. I'd have like my little cabin set up and a farm, and I'd have a lot of things set up. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't even be. I'd be like the shaman or the spiritual man and the voodoo guy. You know what I'm saying? In the village or whatever, because I'm gonna do my own thing. And I'm not gonna like fall off, like. And so that's what that pretty much represents for me. So. Yeah, but being a Capricorn, Babalue in Orisha, I forgot the name, but his mother, you know what I'm saying, represents the color purple, which is their crown chakra, the higher natures, and he's Babalue as black, which is, I forgot the chakra is, but it's the base chakra, basically, the base chakra, which all consciousness goes down. So when you try to meditate, you know what I'm saying, using your chakra systems and the Kundalini energy, you don't focus on like your base chakra first, then you go up, like it's just beaming down, so you focus on like your higher natures, and the way it works is kind of like electricity or rain or anything like that, like it goes straight down, hits the ground, and then evaporates up, you know what I'm saying, slowly and whatnot, that's how we see the clouds and like the higher natures, if you will. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, things has to beam down first, so you immediately let the energy beam down from you, you know what I'm saying, beam down in your body to your base chakra, which is black, which represents Babalue or the Capricorn energy, and you know what I'm saying, and then it slowly rises up, you know what I'm saying. So with that mentality, which is basically back to his mother, but when you see it, sometimes like Jesus is God, you know what I'm saying, like God, he is the Father. When you see him, you see the Father, and so that's basically what that is. It's kind of like that mentality where they say that Babalue's mother is not only his mother, but it's also his wife. So that's what you see, but that's his wife, because these mythologies work, and usually, like, if they have a partner, right, They're usually just man and wife. You know what I'm saying? And so if they're man and wife, that means that they always try to have like an offspring. So these deities have like offsprings, and that'd be like a more condensed version of what we can understand. So with that being said, it's like it's pretty much the unseen. Like who's his father then? You know, who's Krampus' father? If his mother is Helena, it's kind of the same thing. It's like so within that level of understanding, it's like you know, he is his father. That's why Loki, like I said, is Pan. Pan is basically the god of mischief and is represented by, you know, as Loki, you know, in Norse mythology. And in Greek mythology, it's represented by Pan. And so Pan being upper body, being, you know, of a man, and lower nature, lower body of a goat or a deer, or basically a creature with hooves. We see that that's pretty much what we're talking about. The same thing, you know. Um, Even in the 12 tribes of Israel, you know, you have the deer of Naphtali, which is based off of the zodiac. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's why it's represented by the deer. You know what I'm saying? You got we also got the horns, or the I forgot what they're called, but the horns. You know what I'm saying? That represents the higher natures. You know what I'm saying? Being having that psychic, spidey sense of mentality, and then you have, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically what that represents as, you know, saying, for that animal, which is freedom, the freedom to choose whether or not to do something, or whatever, you know. But it's a spidey sense because it keeps you. It's like the gods are like trying to help you. I don't want to, you know, say your ancestors are basically or something like that. It's trying to help you, you know, in this physical realm. It help you know like whether or not something is going to like disturb your energy. Like you might be in a high level of energy, and somebody comes to disrupt your high level energy. You know, high level of spiritual, you know, vibration. So that's the reason why it's like you know, you're out here and you try to make sure that, you know, nobody's like ruining, disrupting your meditation. That's why in the old Chinese kung fu flicks, you know, whatever, you got the monk who like, I sorry, the sensei who's like meditating, and it's like you can't disturb the sensei, you know, because it's like he's doing really like he's getting light codes, you know what I'm saying? He's getting these codes or whatever. And there's two types of lights. There's dark light, and there's like white light. Well, I would say even there's three, because the solar plex is it's itself within the physical realm. There's a yellow light, which is your solar plex, which is basically your soul, or your spirit emanates through your soul, and what's created through your body, your physical body, you know what I'm saying? And you emanate through your mom, through a fourth dimensional psychology, or technology, if you think about it like that, biotechnology. And then so you have that, and so you have that, and then you have the white light, which is the heavenly things, which basically takes everything on the utopia. It's basically a utopia. You have everything on a human level, like the planet, but in a utopia where nobody dies, you know what I'm saying, nobody gets sick necessarily, not saying you can't do that, but it's set perfectly, you know what I'm saying? And then you have the hell forms, or the black light, which is basically the true reality of things, not all these like indulgences, if you will, you see what I'm saying, of pleasure and whatnot, because pleasure, in our understanding as humans, is fleeting. It's something that, like I said, it's reborn. It dies. It becomes too much. It becomes a bad thing. And so that's why you can get lost inside those pleasures. You can get lost in a good thing, even if it seems good. You know what I'm saying? You can get lost in it. And so the reality is everything needs to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because the nothingness is really everything. It's really everything. You see what I'm saying? Like before, we had all this civilization, America, and all these different countries and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It was just barren land. But if it was just barren land and forest, I guarantee you it was so much more like life out here. You had so many like wild plants and wild fruits and vegetables, land to just be on. You could just build a cabin and have all this land just to explore and whatnot. And like it seemed more like simpler, but in the sense of like more chaotic. Because think about it, if you have a whole country like America and there's people, tribes everywhere and whatnot, and they're just taking up enough space for like a cabin and stuff to live, and then you step out the cabin and you have this whole vast world of green and forests and rivers and whatnot. It's almost like it's almost kind of intimidating. It's like, wow, like, but now you step out, you step out and you live in a neighborhood or an apartment complex, and it's like you see this world, and it's kind of like you know what to expect, you know. it's like it's gonna be a part of the modernism. It's gonna have a building. It's gonna have, you know what I'm saying? And so it's no like there's no sense of like wonder and awe and opportunity. You know, it's like, oh, if I don't act like, you know, them or whatever, like I can't go into the building or anything. I can't do this. I can't do that. And so that's pretty much what that is. It's like, so it's like, you know what I mean? It kind of constricts you into like just where you can like be located at. You know, so that's why I say like you say you have your thoughts tell you understand, like you have when you think about the world nowadays, you can literally think, okay, structure, buildings, and all this type of stuff. Okay, your car goes somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But then like because you physically can think of like where an interpretation of like where you can go and what you can do, it's actually constricting you because you can't really go there because of the confines of the status quo of that place or the places around there, you know. And because of this modernism and whatnot, you're not gonna go anywhere. That's why I now being homeless. There's no really where for me to go. I'm constantly just walking around, you know, because there's no place for me to go. And so that's why it's like, you know. But if we were in the wild, it wouldn't really matter like that. I'd be able to just set up a camp and just that's it, you know, and deal with what comes. But because we're in this modernism, it's like there's literally nowhere for me to go. You know, you got no trespassing signs, places, and whatnot. And so there's things like this I'm talking about. But this is like on the earthly realm of things. You know what I'm saying? On the earthly realm of things. But that's all I'm gonna go ahead and pull out for this one right here. I'm gonna talk about more stuff later.